Good morning, everyone. Oh, you want to start the disclaimer first? Sorry. Good morning, everyone, and good evening, all my masters. Thank you for joining in for today's session. We will start chapter 14 today, the curse that created Ravan. I had given you a little bit introduction in the beginning before I started that narrating the story. So Ansuya and the mother are the ones who are listening to Soma, and Soma is the staff lady or servant that was until her last moments with Sita Mata. So the story had reached the point where Sita Mata was at Ravan's captivity, and Ravan was playing mind games with her. So the chapter that we start today is the curse that created Ravan. Old memory of when she was in a form of Narayani, and she saw that Shri Ram was in a celestial world. So one day, Narayan and Narayani, they were in the celestial world and they were sitting. Lord Bra and in Vaikuntnath. So this is back memory, old memory that is coming to Mata's mind. And they did not, and the four Kumars, they wanted to come meet with Narayana and Narayani, and they were turned away with from Jaya. Jaya was their attendant, Narayana and Narayani's attendant. And the Kumars, they wanted to meet Narayana, and he said, oh, they're busy, they're resting, so they don't want to meet them. But the fact was that Narayana and Narayani were waiting for those Kumars. They wanted to meet them and they knew they were coming. So it's like, your guest comes to your door and your son says, oh, parents are not home. So something like that happened. But, this was, and Narayana and Narayani knew that nothing can be hidden from gods, right? So they knew that Jaya had let them go and did not let them come. The whole reason that he did was that he was envious of the love and that Kumars were there. And he said he thought that his love was more important to Narayana and Narayani, and he didn't want to share his love with anybody. So his jealousy was growing. The seeds of jealousy were growing. Narayan spotted the Kumars and both the sages, and they met with the Kumars. And Kumars did not complain that we did come to your place and your attendant Jaya did not let us. They just said, oh, you know what, we didn't come. They took the blame on themselves that we didn't come, that we wanted to come but we didn't make it today. So, but and that time Narayan told the Kumars that he's sorry for the behavior of his attendant Jaya. And on the other end, he went to Jaya and he told them, the seeds of jealousy are not good in the celestial world, and that he needs to get rid of jealousy. Jealousy in any world is not good. Forget the celestial world, even in this earth is not good. Jealousy creates a lot of other emotions that are negative energy, and they are not good for meditators or anybody. So we should never have jealousy towards anybody. So, and he saw, and he didn't want to listen to Narayan. And in fact, he complained. Jaya went and complained. What did Kumars did? Kumars took the blame on themselves that they did not make it today to visit them. But Jaya, instead, he complained that the children were rude to him. And that's why he did not let them come in and meet with them. Narayan knew that what Jaya was saying was untrue, and he again told him, you should go sit down for meditation. He was behaving like a 10-year-old kid who was throwing a tantrum right now. So and Narayan kept on reminding him that this is not good, and he gave instructions to where Jaya should go meditate, like which part of the celestial world he should go meditate and how he can get rid of his emotions. Instead, Jaya went to the Kumars and complained, oh, so you complained about the Lord to me, about me, and that's why the Lord is insisting that I go to meditation again and again. So he's playing the blame game. So jealousy gave another birth to another negative emotion, that is blame, playing the blame game. And then and then Narayan explained him that all negative emotions cease to exist when one enters the higher celestial world. And if even a shadow of negative emotion comes, one should withdraw and stop that. Otherwise, it affects the higher vibrations, and from the celestial world, it comes to the earth. So not only the celestial world will get affected, his negative ripples would echo throughout the universe. So that was the reason that Narayan kept on telling him again and again that he needs to stop the emotions, that negative emotions that are coming in his mind again and again. And Narayan and Narayani, he was not listening to them at all. And then another negative emotion comes to him, that is lust. So one thing leads to the three things already that we are before. We only went through down 2 chapters, and 3 negative emotions started from jealousy. So there was a lady that was taking fruit basket to the Kumars. And Jaya stopped her in the middle, and he says, "Oh, I will give the fruit basket to them." And when she saw the woman, if we are all women here, most of us are women here. And even if the woman in your family, if somebody, a third person, sees us with a negative eye, we can feel that negative energy. So that woman, she felt that negative energy, right? And she said, and she feels that she shrank back, shocked by the intensity of his desire. And she's like, this is never happened in the celestial world. This is so negative. Women can feel that negative energy right away. Even it could be a family member, we can still feel that negative energy. And so the woman felt that negative energy from Jaya. And that was it. And then Sita Devi Narayani could not take it anymore. And she says, this is it. We are not taking any more of you, and you need to start meditation. And then he even insulted Narayan. So Jaya was going out of control right now. And he started arguing with Narayani. And the sages, the Brahmaputra, could not take it at that insult of Mata in the celestial world. And so they cursed him. And he cursed Jaya. And then this part is not in the book. But what happens is he gets Jaya gets 2 options. So one option is that he goes to the earth 7 times, takes 7 births in a form of a rishi, and he gets rid of his emotions. And Jaya says, I cannot be away from God for so long. So since he was requesting again and again, Narayana and Narayani gave him another option, that he takes three births, but these 3 births will be all negative births. So he will be the bad guy, and Narayana and Narayani will take birth on the earth to help him out to come back to the celestial world. The first birth that he took was in the form of Prahlad's father, Hiranyakashipu, the king Hiranyakashipu. The second is Ravan, and the third is third one was Krishna. And Krishna had at that time he was the auntie's son who Krishna killed him. So that's how he took 3 births. So he chose to do these 3 births, and so he should not be away from Narayan, and he should come back to the celestial world again. So Mata was remembering all this story, and then he knew what was going on with Ravan, why Ravan was the way he was, behaving with the women like that, the lust and everything that was coming. He was killing kids and everything. A song spontaneously arose in Mata as she recalled the history of Jaya. She remembered Prahlad, the son Jaya had tried to kill when he took his first birth on earth. Every opportunity Prahlad used to play in Prahlad, wanted to calm his father down. And he played the same song that Jaya played in the celestial world. And so the chant kept on coming. Then the chant was full of love and devotion towards Narayan and Narayan. As the song filled the ethers, Ravan stopped in his track. Like, I remember this song. What is this going on? That brief moment allowed Mata to reach into his mind. That twisted and perverted mind had awakened the memory of the celestial world. And his body shrank when he thought the thought of Prahlad from his previous birth. See, Ravan was a very big yogi. So he obviously could he can easily get to find out what his previous birth were. So his body shrank. And he's like, oh my God, what did I do? And he started crying like a child. Mata, why did you deserted me? Mata said, I didn't deserted you. You are our Jaya. We are here to help you. and your own deeds have led you to what you are today. We kept on reminding you, the first negative thought. Ever since then, even Narayan, God also loves his devotees. So as the first emotion came, Narayan and Narayani kept on telling, go in meditation. He was being a bratty child. He was the one who was not listening to them. So Mata said that we tried our best, but your own deeds have brought you to this point. You must dissolve your anger, your pride, and your lust. He was very confused. So, did I kill my son? He doesn't know that. So, but you did not kill Prahlad, she replied. Narayan came to save him and spare you from that agony. Because a father killing a child, his own child, would be a lot of agony. So, Mata said that you were spared by God and you did not kill your son. The celestial realm disappeared and the memory began to fade. Mata found herself in a sea of light. Every corner she heard that sweet voice chanting, Jai Shri Narayan, Jai Shri Narayan. Slowly, the forms of women sages emerged from the light. Hundreds of them, young and old women. Mata had known all these women. And out of all these women, Mata recognized sage Ansuya. So remember in the previous chapters when I mentioned that Rishis Ansuya, when Ramji and Sita were there, and Ansuya Rishi said, I have nothing to offer but the seeds of my meditation. And those seeds of meditation are really coming handy for Mata here while she's in the captivity of Ravan. And she saw a great sage, Devahuti, who came from the celestial world. She saw, Mata remembered how Ansuya was there when, Rishi Atri's ashram, they were there. Mata also recognized Rishi Ahilya, Shri Gargi. Gargi was her first teacher, remember, where she had that debate about the celestial realms and how the debate about how we should chant the mantras or not. So that Rishi Gargi was Mata's first teacher in her life. So after the mother, obviously mother is always a child's first teacher. So Gargi was the second teacher, if you count the mother being the first teacher. And so she met all these lady rishis were there. And Rishi Devahuti had attained the highest realization. And she was there was there to see these women had great powers. They could create and sustain entire solar system, as well mending individual broken solar systems. Mata's heart was filled with such deep appreciation. One by one, they offered their love and gratitude for her sacrifice. Because Mata, being a woman, you have to understand, staying in somebody's house, the person who's filled with negative emotion, how hard that must be for Mata. As I said, it is, if we know that we are going to somebody's house for a weekend and that person doesn't get along with us, we don't enjoy that company. So it's very hard. Mata was there for more than 9 months. So it must be very hard. And this person is not only, playing with her mind games, he's also torturing her in every way he could. So that must be so hard on Mata. As these sages faded away, the form of Parvati Ma became visible. Sita found herself again in the garden of Ravan in the dark of the night. And Mata witnessed everything. And she said, Mata, am I really back on earth? Where am I right now? So Mata said, you're back in your physical form in Ravan's garden. So she asked Parvati Mata, what happened? You have remembered the long ago, because behind all this is what is taking place. So so now Parvati Mata is going to tell why this is happening to her. So now she's going to jolt her memory. So she said, you and Narayan had cautioned Jaya about the course of action that he should do in while before leaving Vaikuntha, but he didn't want her to listen. Instead of listening to your words, his arrogance and pride, anger and lust have grown 100-folds now. So the person that he was 1%, now he's 100%. That's why he is doing what he's doing to the women. That's what he's doing to the children. So his anger and pride has turned 100 times more. And then she asked Mata, how's Ramji doing? Because remember, her connection had been broken because she had drank the water in Ravan's place. And Parvati Mata said, he's fine. He's gathering an army and he will arrive soon. I cannot feel him at all. The link has been broken. Can you please help me and reconnect the link? Mata, so I know that everything will be fine. I cannot stay without his energy. I really need that connection back. So, and, without this link, I don't think I can survive too long. So I need that connection. Parvati Mata said, Mahadev has also sent his energy in form of Hanuman. So we consider Hanumanji a form of Mahadev, and he will help. And when he will come, he will help you reestablish the connection between you and Ramji. And you will be. And Mata said, how will I recognize him? Mata said he will be humming Ramji's name. But Parvati Mata also told Sita Mata that she should not drink or eat anything. And she said that through that experience, and she said that Parvati Mata, through that experience, when you will have to heal and release many of the women he had assaulted. So Parvati Mata also told Sita Mata that you have helped so many women that he had assaulted. And that's why these women sages came from all the corners of universe to help you, and to thank you that you have given the strength. Whatever they could not take care of, she has taken care of on the behalf of everybody. And she said that your work is from the inside world, and Ramji's work will be from the outside of the world. And so she said that I will give you a amrit. Amrit is a sacred water. So instead of you eating food and water in Ravan's place, you will be nourished by this amrit. That way, you won't have to eat or drink, and you will still be fine. And Mata also told her that Ravan is very clever and he is playing with his illusionary powers. You and Ramji must contain them if he is to be transformed. You guys have to be very careful, Mata said. And she also told her this is his second birth on the earth realm after many thousands of years. Mata also recalled the reason of their birth. So now Mata remembers why they were here. So in the turning of the cycles to the new set, also Ravan was a reason that Mata was here, Ramji was here. Another reason was to turning of the cycles to set new patterns of human behavior. Because here, what is happening is Ravan is setting wrong patterns. Using women as a use and throw kind of a thing, disrespecting children. And so if these patterns are being role modeled by the leaders of the society, then every man will be like that. So Mata knew that these patterns had to be stopped. And before daybreak, Parvati Ma left, and she said, I will be around and you don't have to worry. And and Mata said, before Parvati Mata left, that she said, I will always be there with you because you shared my pain, and so I will always with you. So the story, I'm going to pause here and take you to another story. So the Parvati Ma, the pain she was talking about, everybody has heard the story of Lord Ganesha, where he was trying to guard Parvati Mata, and Shivji came, and he did not know that Ganeshji was the son, and so he cut his head off. So when Parvati Mata was in pain and agony, Sita Mata was there to take care of Parvati Mata and be on her side as a woman to woman and sharing her pain. So Parvati Mata said, you were there in my pain and agony. I will be here when you need me. So, and that's when Parvati Mata took a form of a small white bird, and she perched herself on the Ashoka tree. And ever since she had been in Ravan's captivity, this first morning was the first time when Mata opened her eyes, and she saw some lady asurs, demons, to bring her food. And she said, one of the ladies said, finally, we thought you will never come back. You survived the shock of the captivity. You must eat some food. Mata said, thank you. I cannot eat any food here. And so she asked her, what is your name? So Trijata, we all have heard about this Trijata, that she was a very kind woman. Trijata warned Sita Mata, I must warn you, Sita, do not test Ravan's patience. All of Lanka knows that it is best not to mess with him. And then they heard Ravan coming to the garden. Ravan came and he said, and he was in a mocking way, he told Sita, I see that you survived the captivity shock. And now do you plan to commit suicide by starving yourself to death? Because I hear you're not eating or drinking anything. Mata talked without looking at him. And Mata said, I have no intention of dying, Ravan. Whatever is taking place is for your liberation. Whatever I'm doing is to release you from your agony, your lust. Nothing is going to happen to me. And we will help you get rid of your arrogance, pride, and lust. And what did Ravan do? He laughed at Sita. And he said, you worry about your freedom, don't worry about me. That's what he told Mata. Mata just did not respond. So anybody, anytime there is a person in our family or friend circle, anywhere, he's throwing curses and saying bad words to you, instead of replying back and losing your energy over the negative person, Mata said, you know what, I'm not going to deal with you. I'm going to go sit back in meditation. I understand it is very hard, but try to do that. It will save you a lot of, you will give you a lot of peace. Instead of going back and forth with the story, it's better to take away yourself from that situation and then come back to the situation with a cooler mind. But here Ravan is not the person to talk to the with a cooler mind. His arrogance and lust is way, as Parvati Mata said, is 100 times more. So Mata said, you know what, I'm going to take care of this slowly. I'm going back in meditation. Each time Ravan came, Mata's heart pounded. She remembered what Parvati Mata had said about Ravan and his illusionary powers. So he tried all his illusionary powers on Sita, and his anger and frustration was growing because all these women had come in his life. He could use them right away and throw them right away. But he was a very great yogi, and he was like, why cannot I make Sita my own? So his desperation was growing towards Mata. And there was a mysterious energy that was around her, and that would not allow any weapon to come in contact with her body. As the days passed, Ravan saw that her strength and stamina were not being diminished. He thought, when she's not eating the food, he didn't know anything about the Amrit. He thought, when Mata is not eating or drinking, eventually she'll get tired and give up on meditation. Khali pet koi kya kar sakta hai? That was the thing. Empty stomach, he thought she cannot sustain much. But Mata was Mata. And plus, she had the energy of the ladies in Ayodhya. All these ladies were meditating. All these rishis were with her. Parvati Ma was on her side. Mahadev was on her side. So how can that her energies be diminished? She was full of energy. And his frustration was like, oh, she's just a mere woman. Why can't I control her? So Ravan had this new patterns that he was establishing, and this was not right. In his new pattern was to dominate women for sake of power. He relished this power, which was to possess women, abuse with no possibility of justice for women. So he thought women were not capable of giving any justice. They were not being like considered as devis. They were considered the best thing for women is to abuse them. Allowing this pattern of behavior to enter the world would lead to diminish of women. Over time, this could bring a lot of negative energy. Because see, if women are not happy, the whole family is not going to be happy. So this negative pattern was really affecting Mata. Mata was like, this is not right. This new pattern that Ravan is setting up is not good. One night, as Mata sat in meditation, she saw future. Mata saw gradual oppression of women. During this time, mothers will kill their unborn daughters because no mother would want their child to be in the situation where a king can, oh, your daughter is very pretty, I want her for the night. No mother would want that. And this kind of situation, the mother would be like, I'm better off not giving a birth to my daughter. And mother will be killing their own unborn children. And husbands will confine their wives to home and assign them the most menial work. Women will have no access to education or wealth, and they will be denied spiritual training. We guys are blessed that our spouses help, and the men in our group, they help their women to grow, whatever job, home, everywhere. That's what the marriage is all about. But what Mata sees in the future at that time, the women will be just confined as more like servants and not being respected as their better half of the one person. So Mata's heart was growing heavy, and she felt, and that's when she heard Maharishi Devhuti, and her sadness reduced. And so Devhuti was Mata's grandmother in previous birth. So we will go again back in the story. She took Mata's hand, and then she covered, and some exchange of thoughts happened. It is all but certain that we women will retreat into shadows, Mata said. And that is why we don't know the real story of Ramayana, because women got retreated into shadows and the men took over. And that's why we all hear about the Ramayana that we read of today. We only hear about the accomplishments of Ramji, what Ramji did. We don't hear anything about what Sita did. Sita's accomplishments were necessarily for the outward development of planet, for civilization to proceed. And you must plant the seeds for the time, and women will come forward and reclaim what they have to offer. And so Mata was getting all the thoughts and messages from Devahuti, which is her grandmother in the previous birth. Soma stopped to offer water to everybody, and this is when she wanted to tell the story why Narayani and Narayan are back on earth. As Devhuti Mata thoughts were being transmitted to Sita Mata, she remembered about her past. Maharishi Devhuti's father. So the story is going a little bit back, so you have to be, understand that who's the child and who's the mother and who's the father. So Devhuti's father, the grandmother's father, so great grandfather of Sita Mata. Devhuti's father, the great Manu, enlightened ruler of ancient India, had searched for the appropriate husband for his daughter, and he finally found Kardama Muni, and he was always in the tapasya. Kardama Muni wanted to get enlightened, but he didn't want to get married. But the king wanted him to get married to Devhuti, his only daughter. And he said, okay, I will marry your daughter, only one condition, that once I give her children, I will go back into my meditation and I'll never come back. And Devhuti agreed to that. So Kardama Muni left for the forest, and she was left with 9 daughters. Each became one of the advanced yogis, and a son, Kapila, was also born. So 9 daughters and 1 son, and the father leaves. And so Devhuti raised all these 10 kids by herself. How powerful this woman was. I can't imagine raising 1 child by myself, 10 kids. And of course, she had Narayani on her side. Narayani helped her find all the right spouses for everybody. And so Narayani was there. So Narayani appeared and consoled. Narayani appeared and consoled and guided her to raise all these 10 children in a yogic way. And at the time of the marriage for these daughters, Narayani helped find everybody a suitable spouses. One of the Devhuti's daughter was Shri Mata Khyati. So Sita Mata, previous birth mother was Khyati. So that's how she's calling Devhuti the grandma. So far, so good? Yeah, okay. So Rishi Khyati was a very gentle and a kind woman, and her vision was fully open to the inner worlds. Narayani had deep affection for her and guided her on how to enter higher substance realms. After sage Khyati married Rishi Bhrigu, and they went to Vaikuntha to seek Narayani's assistance in bringing celestial knowledge. So while Khyati and her husband Bhrigu were visiting Narayan and Narayani, Khyati felt that, oh, Narayani is so pretty. How I wish that Narayani become my daughter. So that wish, the husband found out that wish, and so Narayani was born to Khyati and Rishi Bhrigu. So and that's her name was Bhargavi. So Sita Mata's previous birth name was Bhargavi. The parents were Rishi and the Mata Khyati. And so Khyati was a daughter of Devhuti, right? And so Bhargavi was born. So sage Bhrigu had a second wife, who was her name was Vasana, and Vasana was the mother of Shukracharya, who was the guru of the demons. And so far Khyati has another, the husband has 2 wives, Khyati and Vasana. So Khyati is the mother of the Bhargavi, and Vasana is the mother of Shukracharya. And so Shukracharya is the guru of all the demons. So during the war between the gods and the demons, all the demons went and hid themselves in Usana's house. Usana promised that she will take care of them and she will not give them away to the gods. So Narayan came asking Usana that please give the demons away because they are really important for us to have them, because we will not win the war. And Usana said, no, I gave them a word. If you want to take them, you take me out of my body. So basically, I'm ready to die. You can kill me and I will be fine. And so she requested Lord Narayan that take me with you. And so this part, the husband does not know, right? So when the husband came, when the husband came, he thought, he was very upset that Narayan killed my wife. He really loved Usana. He loved Khyati and Usana both. But when he saw that Usana was dead, he cursed Narayan. Whoever did this to my wife, I will curse you, and that you will feel the same pain that you will be away from your wife. And when Narayan came out of the back from the back, and when the rishi found out that he actually ended up giving the curse to Narayan, and in that way he actually gave a curse to his daughter too, because in one birth Sita Mata and Ram will be their son, son-in-law and the daughter. So Khyati was very upset with her husband that what he did without knowing. So this was another problem that Mata realized, that all these rishis, they were giving curses. Thoda sa gussa aaya, little bit upset, in the atmosphere. Okay, just go give curse. No thinking, nothing, no discussion, no planning, nothing. Just give curse. So these curses were causing a lot of problems in society. And yes, they were a part of a plan, but but if a person is ready to say sorry and move on, and feel bad about what they did, they had no way of going back. Like what happened to Meenakshi? Meenakshi had no fault of hers. So she got cursed for 7 generations. So this was not fair. So Mata got, so curses was very problematic in that time period. Rishi Bhrigu was very upset, and sage Bhrigu was like, please, Narayan, don't take the curse on yourself. Narayan said, no, I will take your pain and I will take the curse on myself. And Narayani said, I will too. So husband and wife both took the curse on themselves. And this is why Mata understood the cause of the separation from Ramji at this point. So this is the curse that kept keeping them separate. And Khyati, when she was very upset, right, with the Rishi Bhrigu, she said, look what you have done. And so the curse got softened that they will choose when they want to separate. So this is the time when they chose to separate. Devhuti then reminded, this current situation was designed by the two of you for the release of Ravan. I want to show you something. Hold my hand. In the light of these bodies, they went to Saryu Nadi. And Devhuti Mata showed Mata how the women of Ayodhya were praying and sending her the positive energy. Mata heard the most beautiful chanting. Dozens of women were there. And before Devhuti Mata left Sita Mata, she showed that every day these women, day and night, rain, wind, thunderstorm, any season, these women come and they pray for your safety. Even Ravan cannot penetrate the energies that are being created by these women, and they're saving Mata. And this is because they love Mata, the devotion. Sometimes even gods, they need our energy. So it's like a pact. A mother loves the child and the child loves the mother. The same goes, Bhakt or Bhagwan ka rishta bahut ajeeb hota hai. God and the devotee, they have a different kind of a relationship. And the bond, they both need each other together. So this is what Devhuti Mata is trying to show Mata. Like the love that you have shown the people of Ayodhya, this is what you're getting in return. And because of these energies, Ravan cannot come near you. And there lies your work, Sita. The seeds you are sowing for the future, when the power of women will need you to be awakened. The purpose of your life is not only for now, but also for the future, for women to come. I have felt their devotion, Mata said, but I did not know that this is the love. This is where I was getting the source of energy. The love was coming from here. And so Devhuti Mata also told her that Ram will be fulfilling the work from outer words, and you will have to take care of the inside, take care of inside. Teach people meditation, calm people down, play with, teach Raman calming down. And so Raman, she has to go into, at one point, she will go into Rama's mind and calm him down. And one morning, Mandodari came to bring food for Mata. And she was a very devoted woman of Shivji, of Mahadev. And she also loved her husband. And she pleaded Raman, please forget, she pleaded Mata that, please calm down and, don't cause this war. So Mata said, no, this is going to happen. And she brought her all the food, and she said thanks to Mandodari to the food, but she says, I will not eat this food. But she also promised Mandodari the first time she will eat food in Lanka will be from her hands. And Mata did keep her promise. The first time she did eat that food was in Lanka, and after Ramji won the war, and she fainted. The first food that she ate, she ate from Mandodari's hand. So that completes my chapter 14. Any questions so far? We have few chapters in 15. I'll start, so we will still have 15 minutes. If you have to stop in the middle of the chapter, that would be fine. So my next chapter is Sita's teaching to Mandodari. So Mandodari one day had a bad dream. She remembered how she was a young girl, and she refused to get married. Her father refused to get married to Raman, but Raman abducted her. That's how Raman did. He just kidnapped women. If he wants to marry somebody, he would marry. If he wants to use and throw, he would. He did not need a permission of a woman or the permission of the woman's family. So he abducted her. He quickly, Mandodari remembered that past story in the dream, and she got very scared, and she quickly got ready and she went to meet Mata, and she saw Mata in meditation, and Mata could see the pain in her eyes. She held Mandodari's hand, and she said, "I know you're worried. He abducted you, but he married you. But how many women did he marry after he kidnapped them? And is this the right way to do? Kidnap somebody, if against their will, kidnap women, and is this the right way to do? Yes, you think it's right, and this is a new norms he's instilling in society. Is this good for human mind and human brain? I mean, human body, and this is very dangerous for society," Mata told her. "Women will be seen as objects of pleasure, and that will not be good. And Mandodari, you need to stop this." Mata tried to teach Mandodari that you need to stop this trait that Ravan is creating before it gets worse. "Mata, tell me why I am so attached to him." Because sometimes we hear all this time in the news, sometimes the person that gets kidnapped, they end up loving their abductor too, because they feel there's no way of getting out. So, and they end up taking that abductor, the person who kidnapped them, as their as their caretaker as well. So she says, "Mata, why do I love him? He's bad guy for everybody, and he does what he does is very wrong. I know it." Because she was a very pious woman. She's a very religious woman and a very big devotee of Mahadev. She knows that what her husband is doing wrong. But then why do I love her? So she wants to know her past. So Mata made her close her eyes and tapped her third eye and took her into her past. In the previous birth, her parents did not agree to get her married to anyone. And so she remained unmarried, and she always wanted to get married, but her parents never thought anybody capable of their daughter to get married. And so she vowed again and again that if she could marry, she would be the ideal wife, sacrificing her needs. This is a very important sentence. Sacrificing her needs to those of her husband. This longing remained with her throughout her life and even her to death. So we should never sacrifice our own needs for somebody. Even we are wives of somebody and daughters of somebody. If our parents are doing something wrong, we should not say, "Okay, whatever you're doing wrong is fine, parents, go ahead. We will put our needs down." You have to look out for yourself first, because if you are not happy from inside, nobody else will. You cannot make the other person happy. Your husband, your children, your needs should come first. I'm not saying become selfish. Become selfish when it says, take care of your health. You're working from morning till night, taking care of your family. You have no time for meditation. You don't have time for eating your own food, staying healthy, exercise, nothing. So that is not right. So this is what her thought was. I will sacrifice my own needs, my personal needs I'll sacrifice. And so her last thought was there. And so she did find herself as a husband, Raman as her husband. She said, if I find a husband, I would sacrifice everything for him. In order to fulfill this past desire, you sacrifice yourself, Mata said. And this was a very big mistake. You were placing your desire, all your desires over the good of society. Not only Raman captured your body, but he also captured your mind. Free yourself from this captivity, not just for your own sake, but you are a Maharani, you are a role model. you have to do this for the sake of the Lanka as well. Because what people are thinking of you, oh, so he kidnapped you and he married you, and this is fine, so I can do it. So and even a normal person and general population can do this. I like my neighbor's daughter, I can kidnap her and get married. So this is not a right norm. And your husband is setting a wrong pattern in society. I am just a woman. This is a very wrong notion that Mandodari had. I'm a poor woman. What can I do? Women are very capable if they do decide to bring up something. I am just a woman. What can I do? Leave him. I'm scared of the terrible consequences of his actions. But I'm worried about my children. Do you think my children will pay for the price of my husband's misdeeds? Mata said, nobody is made to suffer for another's misdeed. They will only reap the consequences of their own action. Indrajit, Ravan's son, if he chose that he would not be his father's side and he would have wanted to go take care of, on his mother's side, he would not be dead, but he chose to be on his father's side. He took all the demon traits, and so he ended up dying too. So Sita Mata requested Mandodari, go to your mother's house. If you plan to stay, seek guidance. You can seek guidance from Parvati Ma. Mandodari kept quiet. I must bear responsibility for what will come to happen to him. I must witness what happens when women's voices are muted. I am hoping that I can repair some damage. Mandodari, take peace with yourself and make peace with yourself and free your mind, Mata requested her. Mata also whispered, you must leave that to Ravan, that the reason of my presence here. You have a daughter. So Mandodari was not ready to go to her parents' house. Mata said, we don't know about Ravan's daughter. We have not heard. I read about this only in the book that Ravan had a daughter. So Mata said, you have a daughter. Call her. She can help you. She's wiser than you. So our daughters are smarter. Even today, my daughter helps me with all these Zoom connections and everything. So our kids teach us a lot of things. So Mata says, bring your daughter in your life back. Back then, the daughters, once they get married, they would not come back. Distances were a big issue. So Mata said, she will assist you, she'll take care of you. Not long after that, but she did not listen to Mata. Mandodari did not listen. Not long later after that, Hanuman arrived and he found Mata. Mata recognized Hanuman as he was chanting Ramji's name. And he says, he said, I'm going to call you Mata. First, Mata wanted to say, oh, you are a form of Mahadev. Mata wanted to, touch his feet. He says, no, I'd see you as a Mata. So they both agreed that Hanumanji can call Sita Mata. So, and Hanuman says, okay, I will, you can call me Putra. So they have a pact, mother and a son pact. But how did you find Lanka and how did you find me? And once I came, Mata says, how did you find me? This is no way it could come. I heard that a sacred name of Ram humming through the ethers and I followed that voice. And every atom in your body, Mata, is vibrating of Ramji. So Mata found Hanumanji because he was chanting Ramji's name, and Hanumanji found because Mata was chanting Ramji's name, and each and every each and every cell in her body was chanting Ram's name, and so that name was vibrating in the ethers. And Mata smiled. Your appearance has brought me much of joy in this loathsome place, and I feel that I am in a much better place right now. And so he gave Mata the ring from Ramji, and a cry of joy came to Mata's lips. Placing the ring on her finger, the link was established. Finally, that link we were all waiting to happen, because Mata's energy was all connected with Ramji. That was the only, so as Parvati Mata said, the link will be established. So as soon as she put the ring, or Ramji's ring on her finger, the link was established. She could hear heartbeat of Ramji. She knew Ramji was alive and well. Mata gave her hair ornament to her. Besides that hair, Juda Mani, you call them in Hindi. Besides that Juda Mani, Mata had a pendant that her mother had given to her. And so this pendant, I keep on mentioning that Meenakshi's, this birth, Ansuya will end up getting that pendant. Her husband will have it. And so she'll not end up having it, but seeing that pendant. And Mata says, you want to eat. Hanumanji says, I'm really hungry. So he wanted to share all the garden fruits with Mata. He's such a kind soul person, right? So Mata said, I cannot eat, but you go enjoy yourself. And Mata, before Hanumanji left, she says, how long I have been here? So he says, Mata, you've been here for a little more than 9 months. And don't worry, Ramji is gathering an army and he'll be here soon. As soon as the name of war, the word war, affects Mata very deeply, because Mata is Dharti Ma, Vasundhara, which she has so many names, right? So because the war means a lot of people will die, the plants will get affected, the nature will get affected. So Mata really gets scared. Mata says there's no way this can be stopped. So despite Hanuman's attempt, Mata says, why don't you try to counsel Raman? So Hanuman says, I will try. Despite Hanuman's attempt to counsel Raman, he could not get to Raman's closed heart. Raman instructed his son Indrajit to set fire to Hanuman's tail. But Agnidev was like, I cannot burn Hanumanji. Finally, Hanuman requested Agnidev and said, please come on, let my tail burn, because this is really needed for Lanka's purification. So in this way, this is the only way I can purify Lanka. So, and that's when the clothing was put on Hanumanji's tail, and the whole Lanka got onto fire. And when Sita realized what had happened, she shook her head and said, Raman, Raman's son did not know that what he was dealing with. He was dealing with Lord himself. Mahadev, Hanumanji was a form of Lord Mahadev. That fire is the seed of Indrajit's destruction, and his death is now sealed. What did she tell Mandodari? Everybody will reap their own karmas. So Indrajit, this is the mistake of Indrajit, that he tried to mess up with God himself. And so Mata said, your son's death is coming. There's no way of he's going back, because he messed up with God himself. The meeting with Hanuman renewed Mata's strength, and she knew that Mahadev's presence was now with Ram, and she began to let down her guard. As she did, Raman's mental assault increased. One day, Mata saw in her meditation that Mithila was going through a big massacre, and her parents are dead. And she got that when she felt that, for a child, both her parents are dead in a massacre, that too, not a natural death, but in a massacre. So Mata was shaken down to the core. Towards the end of the day, Ravan arrived, and he was very sympathetic. Both parents are killed. Mata did not respond. You're a very cold-hearted daughter, Ravan said. Mata just went into the deep meditation. So Mata, he wanted to show Mata, look, your parents are dead. Soon I'll kill Ram, and you will not have any place to go. No parents, no husband. You poor woman, you will have no choice, but you can come to me then. She tried very hard into the night. Finally, late at night, a ball of light emerged from sky and approached her. It took a form of Rishi Ansuya, who then settled to the ground before her. And she told her that your parents are fine, and Ravan had just created an illusion for you, and you don't have to worry about anything. And she saw her father, and in a deep meditation, and she saw that her father was in a forest in a hermitage, and her mother was safe in the palace. Opening her eyes, Mata touched the feet of Rishi Ansuya with her hands and thanked her for revealing the truth. Should I stop here, Lavanya? Because it's already 5:55. Yeah? Okay, I'll stop. We're still in the middle of chapter 15. We'll continue from here. Thank you, masters, for listening to me. If you guys have any questions, please go ahead. The floor is open for you guys.
Yeah. Hi, Surbhi ma'am. It was nice. I have a question. I think I missed that. They asked 3 births. So first birth was Hiranyakashyap. No.
Yes, you're right.
And the second one was Ravan, and the third one was
Krishna. Narayan came in a form of Krishna, and there were two. There were two. Right here. There were 2 people. One was the Bua's son that he killed with his chakra, and the other one was a neighboring king that he killed. Shishupal and Batra in Dwapar Yuga. So the first Yuga was Satya Yuga, and in Satya Yuga it was Hiranyakashyap and Hiranyaksh, 2 brothers. The Hiranyaksh was Prahlad's father, and Hiranyaksh was the one who took the earth and the water. And Narayan had to take a form of a boar, and he brought the earth from under the river. The second was Treta Yuga, and in Treta Yuga there were 2 brothers, Jay and Vijay. So in this book we are only talking about Jay. So Jaya was Hiranyakashyap and Hiranyaksh in Satya Yuga. In the second birth was Raman and Kumbhakarna in Treta Yuga. and Ramji and Sita came. In the third birth was Dwapar Yug, Shishupal and Dhanvantre. Shishupal was Krishna's Bua's son. And he always, we all heard about Shishupal. That's a very common name that I've heard. But Dhanvatra was, I Googled all this. Dhanvatra was one of the neighboring kingdoms in, next to Krishna's town. So there were three births. Yeah, Shishupal was Bua's son. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you, Chandrakala ji. Lavanya ma'am, I think no more questions. We can wrap up the session. Thank you everyone for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sushma ji.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rama ji. Thank you, Manoj sir. Thank you, Vara ji. Thank you, Mukund ji.
Yeah. Continue so many
Thank you,
things.
Sudeep sir. Thanks.
Great knowledge. We never heard in Rama all these things.
No.
Never.
Yes.
All. Really great.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Manoj sir. Thank you, Vara ji.